we're gonna go upstairs after this and take a picture on the front porch, but, I just don't know, I don't know, you know, how to explain the feeling, you know? This has everything to do with the people to my right and left, and my situation with Nick was very brief, and I often feel like, you know, you get lumped in with people that did, you know, that knew Nick a lot more than I did, and but in a, you know, because we've got, you know, a bunch of new guys, in a shortened version. So when I got to Hofstra, Nick was battling this cancer, and I think I probably only saw him at Hofstra maybe twice or maybe 3 times. I know once was at a fall tournament where we actually were we played Duke over in Rockville Center at Skelos Park, and then Coach Amplo and I were driving to a recruiting event, and we pulled over, and we knew that they were going to be at the Chart House restaurant. And then maybe 1 or 2 other times when we packed up the bus to come see him. And I certainly talked to him a bunch on the phone, but the situation of when Nick had passed and what Michael was going through and the family was going through was unbelievable, right? And so the talks of, like, maybe let's have a golf outing, right? And then that led into, hey, you know what, maybe we should just do a fall lacrosse event and invite like 4 teams to go to Ridley High School. And
44 last year
right,
teams.
right, so, you know, and everybody was like, you know what, why don't we just make everybody sell 5-10 t-shirts, right? That would be the buy-in. And then to stand inside a $1 million home where, you know, there are costs to run this home that these guys are paying. They don't charge families anything, you know, to stay here, and they don't kick them out after a certain amount of time. They can stay here as long as their family member needs treatment. To think that they brought this from point A to where this is now, I don't even know what to say. We talk about a vision, talk about a willingness of, and certainly the lady to my left, and not to downplay the boss here, but she was not going to let her son down. I mean, that's all that it was. She was not going to let her son down. And, you know, very rare, not very
We've
rare.
had lots of conversations
Right,
about it, haven't we?
and I remember where I was, you know, driving to a lacrosse game, and I was on the phone with Mrs. Calori going, you know, this is gonna be hard after 5 or 6 years because there's so many tragedies in the world, right? And what's, you know, the Joe Fariso thing is gonna come up, and all these other teams are gonna go through them. Unfortunately, it's part of life. It sucks, but it's part of life. And I just wish and I hope that this thing can sustain its momentum. And these 2 people, plus Michael and the other brothers, what they've done and to keep this ball rolling is an unhumanly effort of what took place of this family. They just locked arms and they said, we're not stopping. And, you know, to think that the light's on, it costs money. They're paying for that.
$15,000 a year.
Right, $15,000 a year just for the electric bill. They don't get involved with food, but there's gonna be wear and tear. There's gonna have to be repairs, all this other stuff. This is a huge undertaking. And something good always happens after something bad, right? And something tragic happened. And, you know, I'll never forget being asked to deliver the eulogy at the church, and probably the scariest moment of my life. And when I got up in the front and it was standing room only, I literally I was gonna throw up. I did not, nothing really gets to me, it got to me. And there was just some force that just said, just start reading and take it over. And Nick, you know, is there in his Hofstra like sideline suit. That's what he took his journey within.
That's what he
And
wanted.
He wanted it like the sideline gear that we wear during the games. That's what he wanted to go in. And I just looked down and he just, you know, it was just an unbelievable situation. And for us to be here today, and like I said, we're gonna be touching all points of Philadelphia a little bit today. But what's right is right. And us being here feels right.
It's awesome.
Because it's just part of, he wore that uniform, that jersey in there, he wore that jersey. And
It's
for you,
threaded into our everyday.
for you guys to be here, not only warms my heart, I just know what it means to these people here. Other teams, it means an awful lot. This team, it means a little bit more,
It was his team.
right? And
It's everything to him.
I appreciate what we're doing bus-wise, traffic-wise, but this was a stop that needed to be taken.
Thank you guys very much.
And we want to make sure that we take a picture out front before we say goodbye. And if anybody has any questions, we'll do that up top as well. But I wanted, certainly for some of the young guys, as years go on, I never want Nick's legacy to be forgotten. And he's all over the athletic center, and he's all over, our building, and he's all over, who wears 27. That's a big part of what's going on right now. So really cool that we're here. And I thank you guys for making this happen as well.
Thank you for helping us continue his legacy, for not forgetting. And I listened to Coach T's words, and, we've done hard. This isn't hard. Anything compared to saying goodbye to Nick, everything else is easy. So this has been the greatest privilege to fulfill our promise, and I'm
this
so
is
grateful
actually,
for.
this is actually like our therapy.
Yeah.
God, it really is.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful for him, for his selflessness,
You
and
you have enough anger in you, but you have to turn it into something positive. I never wish any of this on any of these, but if something does come up, it's all about family, it's all about building relationships, and
let's go get some
Take
pictures.
it in. Let's go on the